I hope you enjoyed your first coffee break. Thank you for being back at time. Before we begin with the next part, I would like to ask if some of you have not registered in the morning, please go during the lunchtime upstairs to the registration and check your personal agenda and your information. Thank you. I hope you're ready to plunge into the technical part of our WinCC OA keynotes. Lucas Schopp, our product manager for WinCC OA, and Elisabeth Baccani, the director of WinCC OA, will show you some very exciting things, new things about SIMATIC WinCC open architecture. Lucas Schopp, please.
Thank you, Martina. Welcome all here in Bilbao. It's so great to stay here. For me, it's the fourth time that I'm here on the User Days to present you all the new features for WinCC OA. And this year, I will present you all the new features for the version 3.14 for this year. And like last year, I'm going through all the feedback we got from you to improve our product. And we split this in 4 categories. And let's go through that. And there are a really nice feedback from you about the top 4 features in the version 3.13. It was the version we released last year. And I got some really nice feedback also from our customers. And I want to share these information and all these testimonials with you. For example, from our colleagues from Bilfinger Mauel, they told us the possibility for the new plant model are amazing. And that's also one thing I really love on the version 3.13, our plant model. The next, video integration. You have already seen this in our video for the product, that this is one really nice feature. And we have a lot of customers already using it, and there are a lot of new opportunities also from our colleagues in the US. The wizard framework. This is the feature where you can really easily create new wizards or applications starting from our system and specify that really easy and use this. And also our colleagues from Siemens Corporate Technology already have used it for the topic we already presented you for Smart Scada to create all their wizards with these. Next, new reporting. Yes, that's a great feedback for us for the product from our colleagues from Rittmeyer. The new reporting is great, but there are some small things we are missing for our applications. And I can give you an update on that later on, and I hope that this will really satisfy you for this feature. Wishes from our update training. Since last year, for each update training for you, when you get the feedback, the new version presented from our trainers, we have a small survey for you. Give us feedback. What is the greatest feature for the product in this version, and what is missing? And I listed some of them we got from you. Graphics and GEDI, mobile devices. I want to use mobile devices. I want to have the ultralight client 100% compatible to the FAT client. Add-ons and drivers. I want to have the integration to TIA portal or a tool to export information out of the TIA portal. I want to have reporting enhancements and an open SOAP interface. The topic is here that we present with the new reporting a SOAP interface, which is more or less restricted on 8 functions to export data out of the system. And you want to use that on your own and as you want. Okay, thanks for that feedback. Other really interesting part, object-oriented scripting language. I love control, and there are a lot of people out there that also love control, but yes, there are also some other languages. Thanks for the feedback that you would love to have something like that. VM cluster, faster reporting queries. I think that's now the 3rd or 4th time I heard this topic. faster historical queries. And we will also have that on next topic, top 4 pain points we got from you for WinCC OA. Usability, historical data collection, once again, UI on mobile devices, and our great and central feature, the para, is also combined with the usability topic. And what you give us as a feedback from our big survey, we go through all of your feedback, so all textual feedback. More intuitive engineering, it becomes better, but there's much work to do. Historical data is not that fast. Thanks for pointing out that not so negative. My customer wants to have his screen on his tablet, but how? And user-friendliness of para, copy, paste, rename a data point, and so on. There are a lot of features we got listed for a para. And I can give you some updates on these points. For example, usability. As you have seen, this year, the first time we have organized a usability test. Thanks that so many people want to take part of this. We had more than 100 people, they want to attend to the usability test. Sorry, not all are able because we just have limited seats. Please also for all the people that got the invitation for the usability test, have a look on your personal schedule. There you see the time slot when you have to be at the usability test. It should be really fine when you are there or 5 minutes before the time so we can really get all the feedback from you for our product to improve it. Historical data collection, there's something new in 3.14. I can show this later on. UI and mobile devices, there's also something new. Maybe some of you have already seen in our exhibition, but I will go through that in more detail. The para, it's in progress. Yes, it's a central tool of our product, and there are a lot of features we already built in for the version 3.13. You will see some of the new features in our What's New class tomorrow and in the update school. And if you have some ideas how to improve the para and some usability ideas, please send this to us. We are really open to get all the feedback from you. Now, I love this topic, historical data collection. Why is that fast or not that fast? Yeah, we made some really nice tests and analyses on this topic. We have, for example, seen that in the last 3 versions, we got up to 200% faster with historical data, DP period, for example. And on really a lot of amount of values, for 500Ks, 1 million, 2 million values, yeah, we got up to 400 times faster than before, but even that is not enough. We see and we want to discuss with you about this topic, so we need to understand your specific requirements, why you say historical queries are not that fast, because in my opinion, 100K values in 400 or 300 milliseconds, that's really fast. Yeah, we already discussed with some of our colleagues and customers, and what are you trending? For example, some of you want to have a trend of 1 year, but you get the value each second. That's 31 million values, yeah. That's similar to inhabitants of Tokyo. It's not that much than the Chinese city from today in the morning. This is similar to WhatsApp user in Germany, the sales of White Christmas CDs, Bing Crosby, and it's similar to no screen in the world. So we will not fit 31 million pixels on any screen on the world, even not on the Times Square. I tried it, but it's not fitting. So, optimized historical data collection. The time improved in the last 2 versions is not enough for us. So we got really in discussions with a lot of customers. What are the requirements? What is the problem? What do you say? It's not that fast. And we figured out that the topic is that you have a long waiting time until you get all the data in your trend, for example. And for you, that's slow. Okay, because you don't see that the trend is reacting, that he's doing something. You got no feedback. And therefore, we have something really nice for you. We introduced for the version 3.13 optimized historical data collection. And to explain what really happens in that feature, we've done a small video to show this to you.
Optimized historical data collection. New for WinCC OA version 3.14, large data requests from the history are optimized at the server to collect a smaller amount of data and send it immediately to the user interface. This new behavior results in a much faster first response time and a highly reduced load within the data manager by sending data in smaller sets to fill screen in parallel as more data is gathered at the server.
What do you say? Is that something you need? Is that what you expected from a trend that it's not loading all the data, but as far as he already gets some data, he sends it to you and you get the first feedback. Oh, that's maybe the wrong data point. Cancel, I want to have this data point. You don't need to wait until all the data is gathered from the server. You can cancel if that's the wrong one, for example. Yeah. So that's, from our opinion, that's a great feature. And we have done some measurements, and this is the difference. Before, you had for 1 million tags, you need to wait 4 seconds. And now, you get the first response from the server within 600 milliseconds. So you see extremely fast what is upcoming. So faster first response, faster trending, better user experience. So I really hope that this is something I will never hear that it's not that fast. Okay, there is something more, one pain point, WinCC OA on mobile devices. As you know, we have already some solutions. We have our operator app, which is currently just running on iOS. Yes, it's an easy to use, easy to set up feature. You can really easily start up with our wizard. That's really great. Then, if you want to have more than just this pre-configured UI, you can use our ultralight client, which we have, for example, also in the version 3.13. No installation on a client, engineering in the Getty. Yes, there are some restrictions for engineering because of a technique we are using to bring all the UI in the web. There are some special functions, and currently there is no migration from old panels for the ultralight client. Yes, and I have heard all these a lot of times from you that this is not acceptable. So, what we are also figured out together with you, that are the 8 top requirements you have for an UI on your mobile device. Platform independency on client side. So I don't want to figure out which client this is and do something on this. No or easy installation app-like. To download an app is really easy. Get it from the App Store, download it, get an update. Don't ever think about that. Easy or no distribution of project files. I don't want to copy all my panels, which I have changed, to my clients and all that. Should be automatically distributed. It should be high security and high performance. So no problems on all that. It should just work. And it should have the same look and feel like the screen on my desktop. So I don't want to draw another screen for my UI on my mobile device. I don't want to create something special for my mobile device. It should be, if I want, the same. You should also have responsive design. Yes, we have a lot of different mobile devices, and you don't want to create for each resolution an own panel. It should automatically do that. WinCC OA version independent. I don't want to have 3 or 4 or 5 different clients for the 3 or 4 different versions of WinCC OA I am using in my plant. There's one client and should connect to all of my different servers, and I don't want to know which version there is and if there is any problem. And one interesting part is you want to have push notifications. We all know this from our normal apps, from our schedules and all that, these nice push notifications which are popping up and telling you that you have something to do. Okay, what I can introduce, and we have already released something as a beta version for Android, we will bring a native Qt UI for Android and iOS. It's not the app like we have for the operator app. No, it's a full WinCC OA UI working on Android and iOS. Full functionality like the native UI on the desktop, automatically distribution of project files, running on iOS and Android. An app will be available in the App Store, in the Play Store, and also for the Play Store for Android. We can also pull this nice little app on the WinCC OA server, and the Android device will automatically install it from the server. So no need of any manual big installation. And this is the part where we say we can do this with not that big amount of effort, because our UI, which is Qt-based, is from the beginning of the Qt UI is platform independent. So we can really easily bring all our function from the native UI to Android, to iOS, because with Qt, we got the support for that. And there you have full functionality, and you don't have any restriction of the browser or any other thing. So that's a great thing. And we will bring these two things with 3.13. But how will all this fit in the UI strategy, and what is about our ultralight client, which I have promised you last year we will do something on that. We also have done something on our ultralight client. In the version 3.14, we will have also for some improvements in our ultralight client. We will have 100% compatibility to native UI. You don't need to have any special functions, restrictions in engineering for the ultralight client. You can engineer as you want in the GADI, don't need to do anything. All engineering capabilities, no or app-like installation as you want, and automatically file distribution. And we propose for you to use the app, so the native Qt app for all the mobile device, and if you need to have no installation client on the desktop, we have the ultralight client exactly for this purpose. Yeah, that was just for the pain points we have. We have also some really great other features. We have something really nice, animations. You can really easily now animate your whole UI. You can animate each property, each attribute of your shapes within one script. You say, I want to have my rectangle changed from size A to B, then it should go from position set to anywhere, and it should change the color. And you can group them as you want. It should be something parallel, something in SQL. You can make it really nice animations with that, and that's a great feature. And one thing, also for animations, we have put in our embedded modules where you can add and change your panels, we add the possibility to transition like PowerPoint. So you can say it should fly in from left, from right, it should come from the center. All these features, what you are known from all the apps on your phone, from all the software you have currently on your devices. We see if you want to use our UI on a mobile device, it should look like a mobile device UI. And all these features are new with 3.14. But there are some more features for the UI. I just go quick through them. We have tomorrow the What's New workshop there are all questions answered for all these details. Android and iOS UI, I've already told you. Enhanced ultralight client, animation framework, enhanced engineering usability. We have also put a lot of effort into the Getty for some nice features to have a better engineering usability for you. Some of them I can tell you afterwards also. Touch gesture support. If you want to use the UI in a mobile device, you need to have touch gestures, yes? And we have introduced now that you can configure the touch gestures as you want. You can say if I slide on my panel from left to right, then it should come the next panel on the right side in the panel topology, for example. You can trigger and have all the touch gestures in your UI. Industrial Thin Client support. The Industrial Thin Client is this nice client which is running on Linux. It's from our colleagues from Siemens also. And there you can connect to remote desktop, VNC and all that. But with the new version of Industrial Thin Client this year, we will also have the possibility to connect directly to WinCC OA. You go into this closed Linux, click on New Connection, WinCC OA, write down the IP of the server. He will download the current UI, will install, will start up, and you have the full native UI on your Industrial Thin Client. And that's great. Device-independent HMI responsive. We want to have one panel topology template which is already used to responsive design. That you can just say, okay, I want to show my panel topology in this, and all this stuff with the panel, with the layout management, I don't want to care about that. That is also one nice thing. Trend enhancement. We also put some really interesting parts, as you have seen for our data collection, for the trend, and some other stuff. Color scheme. You can, in version 3.13, you can change during runtime your color scheme. So you can say, I have a day and a night view of my panel. And this is really easy and perfect. And some of them I will show you now in the live demo. Okay, I have my really nice UI running here. As you see, it's on my really nice MacBook. It's just as a prototype, but it should also show platform independent. Does not only mean platform independent from the client side. No, it's also for the server side. I have running here the whole WinCC OA as a server because we can do that. And some nice panel transitions. You can say from the center, or here I put this. If I want to change this from left to right, it should switch through that like this. Or some nice, it's not there. Okay. Animations, I cannot show. This is for Markus Weber, he will show that tomorrow. And one really nice thing is that I told you we have already the possibility to show you our native UI on an iPad and on the Android. You can also see the Android and the iOS tablet outside of the fair, but I can show you this also here. Yeah, I've connected now my iPad. I've already started. And you can see that I can just switch through all my panels. I have the possibility to pinch and zoom, as you know from your normal devices. It's all the same. It should be all the same. If you see something what you don't like, please tell me. And one more thing about the UI, and I will show this to you. Enhancement in ultralight client. I've built this really nice application as a demo, and you want to see this in a browser. Okay, we have prepared that, and it's working just in a browser. Started the Safari, connected to my server, and I don't need to have any restrictions. I can switch through them. Yeah, the animations are not that nice currently, but it's all there. 100% compatible ultralight client for 3.14. So I think that's a great thing for you, because I think that you are the people which want to use all these features for your customer. So we prepare all these things that you can provide that for your customers. Okay, there is much more. Update on drivers. Yes, 3.14 will have driver which is connecting to S7, 12, and 1500 with symbolic. I've heard this last year, you need that. This year, you need that. This year, we have it. Plant model used by OPC servers. I love the plant model. It's so great idea, and a lot of our customers also love it. And if they already have created a nice plant model view on their facility, they want also to use this structure to bring out to their OPC clients. So this will be able, with the version, that you just say, this plant model view, I want to be exposed for my OPC UA clients, for example. OPC, that's a big topic, because there are all others, also the hardware is going to have a possibility to connect the OPC. And we have, for the version 3.14, OPC DA, HDA, historical access, and OPC UA, historical access in the version. SIMOtion. With the next version, you will be able to connect to SIMOtion controller. We have also enhanced our IAC 61850 driver. And there is much more. Add-ons, new functions in the core. Optimized historical data collection, I've already told you what this is. Wizard import export. We have a lot of customers which already have done some really nice wizards, but they want to expose them to their colleagues. But not that easy for the first time. We will bring a simple to use import export button to the wizard framework. WinCC OA will be translated to Russian. The whole WinCC OA, the whole GADI, all add-ons, the help, all will be translated to Russian. And that's for all, and for us also, the start point maybe for an French, Italian WinCC OA. I have heard this wish. SIMATIC information server. That's a great reporting tool from Siemens. And currently, it's just able to connect to the WinCC v7 and to the tier portal, and they will upgrade the SIMATIC information server to also to be able to connect to our SOAP interface. So if you have a SIMATIC information server and you have mixed plans with WinCC v7 and WinCC OA, you have one reporting tool for both. Telecontrol server basic support. We are creating contact with our colleagues from Siemens, and Telecontrol server basic is a small, really nice tool which is doing all the communication with the CP out there for the telecommunication protocol, and is exposing this information via OPC UA and UA-HA to us. And we are really in deep connection with them to bring a perfect solution with WinCC OA combined with this telecontrol server basic. Oracle connection pooling, yes, more performance for Oracle. Rename of data point. We see that at the first slide, top 4 pain points, the para. we will bring for the next version the possibility to rename data points. Is there no one happy with that? I have heard this since I'm at ETM. And yeah, we have a new FDA certificate for all the guys which you need the FDA. That's so great. You can download this and just go through that and see what you need to do to have your facility FDA compliant with WinCC OA. That's one thing we already talked about. We are so deep in communication with our Siemens colleagues, and we see that we're getting more and more into deep with our Siemens colleagues. And I have done this really nice WinCC OA ready tag, and we have a lot of products which are already WinCC OA ready. SIMATIC S7, Telecontrol Server Basic, SIMATIC Information Server, Industrial Thin Client, C-Motion Controller, Nanobox D version and E version, which will come this year. We will also support that. And there is a special package for the Nanobox and WinCC OA. There was something more. And for the version 3.15, so not this year, for next year, we are planning to bring a tool where you can export data out of the tier portal and import this information and can reuse all this information within WinCC OA. And all these things I have told you and much more will come to the version 3.14. And that's the topic we are proud of. For small systems to large, we keep an eye on your needs because that's what you need. And all this will be available in November this year. And if you want to have a live demo, you can come and visit us at the SPS IPC Drives launch in our Scada launch and see all these features there live and discuss with us. Yeah, there's one more thing I want to tell. I want to tell you why I love my product so much. And these are three major topics. One is customizing. I can customize my product so in a way that just I want to have this in that way. And if my designer says, I want to have some objects looking like that, okay, I built this. If my customer wants to have a special engineering customization, I can do that. One other part, platform independency. Yes, because of this platform independency, I can have my Android UI, I can have my iOS UI, I could have also WinCC OA on my MacBook. That's a really core function because we all don't know which operating system will come in the next 2 years. Maybe Google will push up their operating system and there are more and more clients and server maybe coming. And that's the point where I say we are fit for all these with our product. And also engineering and runtime all in one. Engineering runtime is not split at WinCC OA, it's one in one. And for that, I can show you just a small live demo what I have prepared. This was the screen our designer was creating when he thinks about the Scada screen. He says, this should look like that. Okay, as you have seen before, I totally agree with him, and I have just built it. And this is not any big, complex thing. This is just all built-in control in my GADI, just with the things I have with my standard product. And to show this also, we can have a look at the GADI. This is just one object I have built in my GADI for my own. And I have also done this to my object catalog on the right side. And if now my customers want to give this product or this project to their customer, they say, okay, I just want to drag and drop my objects. It's not a problem. If you say, okay, I have this nice Kachel object, I named it. Then you get this nice standard interface where you can put in all the information you need for the object. Okay, but you don't want to have this because your customer say he wants a specialized parameterization and configuration screen for this object. Not a problem, I have already prepared something. And if you now drag and drop this object, you see I have already customized my engineering. And I've done this with not a lot of work. And if I say, okay, my customer don't like that, it's okay. Then I can really and easily change this because also my engineering screens are panels in my Getty and I can use them. So if I want to have another color here, okay, you can do that. I like, for example, this nice color. What? And I don't want to have the possibility for an icon, for example. Okay. Cut all this. Save it. And the next time I'm drag and drop the Kachel object, I already get my customized object configuration screen. And that is what I love in my product, because you can do so much things without complex Visual Studio, C++, C# programming. You can just drag and drop and already configure that. And one thing also, engineering during runtime. I have this nice plant model view where I have different views on my plant. I say I have this view 1 and view 2, different stations. And I, as an operator, want to configure during runtime. I have this nice plant model view where I have different views on my plant. I say I have this view 1 and view 2, different stations. And I, as an operator, want to configure during runtime. I have this nice plant model view where I have different views on my plant. I say I have this view 1 and view 2, different stations. And I, as an operator, want to configure during runtime. I have this nice plant model view where I have different views on my plant. I say I have this view 1 and view 2, different, and I've done this here. Just clear that and say, okay, I want to have from plant view, line 1, device 1 here positioned. I want the device 2 somewhere here. Line 2. This is really important for me. I need this here. And device 5 is not that important, also not device 1. So I place it here because I have not so many space, automatically change this. And I say save. And I say now the name will be Lucas. Okay. I have saved now the information to create this screen in my UI during runtime. And if someone is sitting at the engineering part, he can now also have a look on the plant model editor, can go through it and see that there is the Lucas view. I don't need to compile, I don't need to change, I don't need to copy something, because runtime and engineering is once. All this is done by the system. And this is one thing I love so much in my product. And what I have already shown you, all this functionality will also be possible in my Safari plant model view. I'm through the big and nice features for the version 3.14. And now I want to introduce Elizabeth Baccani, our director for WinCC OA, and hand over to you.
Thank you, Luke.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, let me welcome you as well from my part. I started with ATM in the 1990s as a developer in a small team that was supposed to develop PVSS2 at that time on completely new technological basis. And we had a very high spirit of innovation and looked at cutting-edge technologies and at latest research results, and were incorporating the findings that we had into the concepts for PVSS2. When I now came back end of last year to ATM, I saw that many of these concepts are still valid, and ATM still has this spirit of innovation. We are investing in research together with various partners, and I would like to give you a couple of examples of such cooperations. For example, with Siemens Corporate Technology, we're working on the Smart Scada project. Then we have a long-term relationship and partnership with CERN, currently under the umbrella of Open Lab. And the third example is funding from the Austrian Research Promotion Agency for different research activities at ATM. And by the way, we heard this morning already, Siemens has a long tradition on innovation, starting with Werner von Siemens, here the famous innovator and industrialist. Today's infrastructure requires intelligent ways to control and visualize your infrastructural processes. On the other hand, WinCC OA has a number of data, they're collecting data, they are visualizing this data that can help you with your processes. Smart Scada is now a toolbox that first helps you to define your key performance indicators for your infrastructure. For example, an overall equipment effectiveness. It allows you to link data of WinCC OA to these key performance indicators and provides you with a set of analytical methods and models to run on this data to, for example, show your correlationship between certain data or to bring up clusters of typical operational scenarios. You also can take advantage of the know-how of your operators. They can enter, for example, a root cause for a particular incident, and the models are learning from this input and are constantly improving. In the end, the idea is that Smart Scada helps you with information on your future incidents, on your infrastructure, for example, by giving you input that allows you to plan for preventive maintenance. Also in the toolbox available is a number of visualization tools. Here we see, for example, the display of a clustering analysis. Smart Scada is an ongoing internal Siemens research project, and currently we are collecting real test cases from selected customers for proof of concept. We also have a flyer available, a two-pager with some more information, so if you're interested, let me know and we can provide you with this flyer. There's also some contact persons on the flyer that can provide you with more information. The second example I would like to bring to your attention is the really long-term cooperation and development partnership with CERN. Many of the findings that we have done in the past are already incorporated in WinCC OA. For example, we have improved the speed of storing data in the RDB archive by a factor of 3 to 5. We have improved the multi-threading in the reporting manager. So there are many features that are now in the product that originated in this partnership with CERN. What are we looking at the moment? Currently, a big topic is big data. What do we mean by that? Big data are typically characterized by the so-called 3 V's. The first V stands for volumes. We're talking about petabytes of data. This is a 1 and 15 zeros, or even exabytes, 18 zeros. I didn't have enough space on my slide. So we're really talking about a lot of data. So volume is one of the characteristics. Second characteristic is variety. We're not only talking about structured data that can easily be stored in a relational database, we're also talking about semi-structured data such as feeds or log files or tweets, and we are even talking about completely unstructured data. For example, a report or simply plain text. So how can we deal with this big data? We are looking at new technologies regarding databases. We're looking at NoSQL databases. NoSQL stands for not only SQL databases. Typical characteristics here are that these databases are distributed. They are very often open source, and they scale horizontally, which means that you can add simply hardware, new machines. Doesn't have to be very expensive hardware. You can add hardware and scale out immediately with such type of database. An example of such a database is the Hadoop. The Hadoop is an Apache, a framework that allows you to, on the one hand side, store your data in a distributed manner and also to analyze your data in a distributed way. The keyword is here also parallelization. So we are trying here to analyze the data where they are stored and not the other way around. Here we are at the beginning of our research. We're looking at what is available, are learning, and have to see how we can take advantage of these new technologies and incorporate them maybe in the future in WinCC OA. The third example I want to give you is research funded by the FFG. For example, IT to field. This is a topic that we have just submitted for funding. Here the vision is, we heard it already this morning, to have a decentralization of our infrastructural components. For example, completely self-organizing machines in the field, such as robots, that coordinate each other without necessarily a central unit. Of course, this also means that the data have to be collected in a central way. So in the end, it means that WinCC OA has to be able to run on local mobile devices. And we heard a lot of this already from Lucas. Android, iOS, the Nanobox, the industrial sync client are all these kind of devices that can be useful for such an application. Let me spend a few more minutes on more organizational topics, namely on the release policy and the development process. Before I hand back over to Lucas, we provide one major release per year of WinCC OA, typically at the end of the year, and by standard, we support the latest 3 releases. At the moment, this is release 3.13, 3.12, and 3.11.1. So if you have a release that is older than that, you need an individual contract with us, and depending on technical feasibility and effort, we can provide you with support for that as well. For the latest 3 releases, we provide you with standard support. This means that we bring out patches for each of these 3 releases every 6 weeks on average. These patches typically contain bug fixes and minor features or third-party compliance topics, such as, for example, a new SSL version. These patches are publicly available for you. If you have a very urgent bug that you need a fix for and cannot wait for the next patch, we provide you with hot bug fixes. These are not publicly available, and you have to take the next patch as soon as it's available to where this hotfix is incorporated. Where the major releases are in the duty of the release teams and of the development teams from ATM, the patches and the hot bug fixes are under the control of our customer care. We have 2 members of our customer care here at the User Days. Andreas Gruber, is he here in the room? Yes, here he is. He is the head of our customer care, can be also contacted at the mobile desk, at the usability test, and can tell you about his own private smart home. And the second person is Rainer Glocknitzer. He's also maybe here in the in the room? No, not currently. He's also available, and he's leading the customizing workshop tomorrow. So both are available for your question. Maybe it's good to see a face sometimes instead of having the people on the phone or via email. Yeah, how are we doing the feature planning? We heard about all the new features in the releases. How does this work? Product management is collecting features from user days, from the users, from fairs, from sales cycles, and doing a pre-scanning of these features. Everybody knows Lukas. He is the head of product management, and since last year, a new colleague joined, Robert Weinberger. He's also here in the first row, and he's leading the reporting workshop tomorrow. So when we have pre-selected some features in the product management group, where also sales is represented and development, we are trying to put up a ranking and a prioritization. And when we agreed on what the next version should include, we come up with a vision document and the roadmap. And the roadmap is what you see here. And we do a 6 weeks review regarding these features, because very often something even more important comes in, so we have to switch the planning and change our plans accordingly. To be able to do that, we changed our development process considerably during the last couple of years. We started with a waterfall method and now are going into more and more agile approaches, which means that we can easier react on new demand and short-term requirements. So product management for each prioritized feature sets up the basic requirements, creates user stories that tell us how we think that the user is going to use this feature, and is doing a kickoff per feature with the relevant development team. The agile teams work in iterations of 2 weeks, so every 2 weeks the complete life cycle is done from requirements, specification, implementation, and testing, ideally, small tasks, of course, and every 2 weeks we do a review with product management and a planning of the next 2 weeks. So again, if something urgent comes in, we can switch. At the end, when all features are ready for release, then we make a 2 to 3 month system test for the whole release before we make it available to you. How do the agile team looks like? At the example of the user interface team, we have typically a Scrum Master. He's responsible for the process and coaches the team. We have a senior developer. We call him, it's typically at the moment males, but this can change, the old wise guy in the team. He helps the junior developers and the developers in writing their design. They are reviewing the detailed solution concepts and are serving as review partner for code reviews. Then, of course, we have developers. They are doing the design work, the implementation, unit tests, followed by the text experts. They are writing test specification, test cases, and they're writing automated tests and are performing these tests. And last but not least, we have the documentation expert who writes the user documentation for you and also supports during tests. This scales, of course, for other teams such as the driver team and the business logic team. The teams are guided and coached by the team lead for development, and product management serves as product owner. So in each team, there's a product owner that makes sure that the prioritization is right, that the features look like expected when they come out of development, and they are the review partners every 2 weeks for the new tasks that we have accomplished. Yeah, these 2 2-week sprint plannings are occurring and helping us in the prioritization. In addition, we have an architect that reviews together with the old wise guys the solution concepts. Christopher Stöger is our architect for WinCC OA, and I think he just left the room, unfortunately, but he's also available at the mobile desk. Then we have a QA and safety representative. He makes sure that our quality gates are observed and the documents and the processes are kept. In the end, we have a steering committee where most of the team leads are involved, also product management and myself. We meet at least once a week to, on a short-term basis, solve all open problems, take decisions on open points, and in such a way keep everything going. So maybe a question of yours might be, how do we work with urgent customer requests? This can happen. We have customer requirements that come in that cannot wait for the next release, or the customer is not planning to move to a newer release. Here we have our solutions team. This team can guide you through the whole development process from requirements engineering until the acceptance phase, until putting the feature in operations. And they work together with our development team. If possible, they work independently to not disturb the release development. In the end, product management decides if such an individual feature or requirement gets into the release or not. If this is the case, we take it on in the next available release. And when the customer then migrates to a newer version, the feature is not lost or disappeared, but it's within the product. So thanks for your attention. I would like to hand over back to Lucas from product management with even more features and roadmap items.
One more thing, continuous delivery. Due to that, our developing team has changed the type of developing features. We are able to ship some of the features much earlier than in the next release. So, because every 2 weeks when one sprint is ended, the feature is tested, is finished, is documented, and we could bring this to the version. And I can tell you now, for the patch 4 for 3.13, so this patch was released last Thursday. There are some really nice features inside, which probably I told you will be in 3.14. What will be inside? OPC UA HA. Historical access will be available with OPC UA. One more thing, what I haven't told you until now, we learned our UI that it's not important to know if this is in PNL or an XML file and in which format this is saved. He can just open it. So no fixed on any extension on that part. Reporting enhancements. We have heard also from our colleagues from Rittmeyer that it would be a nice feature, but something is missing. So we don't want to wait for that until November, so we put the new enhancements for reporting, description, alias, and unit to the patch 4. So you can now upgrade to the newest patch and use all these new features in the new reporting, and hopefully we get more feedback what you need more for reporting. And I already have told you that we have some really nice Scada enhancements. One of these enhancements is the panel overview. We have a new doc window where you can see all open panel in your drawing area. And I know when you work hard with the Scada, there are more than one panel open. And it's a really nice overview. And shape selection. You will see that tomorrow in the What's New workshop, but the idea is if you have more shapes in front of each other and you want to select the one which is behind the first one, it was currently not so easy. But this time you make a right click and you get a new entry in the box and say shape selection. You see all shapes which are behind this shape and you can directly select one of these as you want. And these features will be available or are available with patch 4. So upgrade your version and test all this to see what we bring before the new version in 3.14. But there is something more for the future. Our roadmap. This year, I bring 2 new versions, 3.15 and 3.16. So we plan 2 years that we will bring more versions for you. And these are the main features we will bring. I start from the bottom. New modern engineering design. Yes, the Getty is not the newest design, but it's proven. But we are working on that to bring it much better to a new design. Tier portal integration tool, I've already told you, we want to have a possibility to reuse all the information which is already available in TIA portal and reuse that in our system. Enhanced engineering usability. We don't want just to make the Getty with a nice new design. We also want to work on the usability tasks in the Getty to make it much easier to you to work with the system. We also want to make a nice redesign of the trend widget. There's really a lot of features which we have in mind to bring to the trend and also some nice really looking topics. We want to open our SOAP interface so you can use it as you want, not only with this 8 fixed functions. We will bring in software update notification. So if you want to have this, it will tell you in the Getty that there is a new patch from ETM available. If you don't want, because you're on a facility, you have no network, no internet, okay, it's no problem. But if you're one of the guys who's working in engineering, maybe you want to know when there is a new patch available. And the Getty will tell you, and will also tell you, should I download it? And that's a really nice thing, and we also think about then to make a really easy upgrade possibility. Yes, download and upgrade for me, and I don't want to care about that. And enhanced system diagnostics. There is so many information about the system in the system. How is the health of the system? Maybe I need to check something of the configuration. Should I do something there? Is there any address configuration wrong? And all this. And we want to make a nice system diagnostics tool which provides all this information to you and gives you and maybe also feedback, what could you change that to make all this better? Okay, so now I'm really through all the news about WinCC OA for the next version and the next version. And there's something more to tell.
There is one very important news. You have heard that he really loves his product. All the time, I love my product, love the product. But he also loves his girlfriend. He's some time for her. And so he will marry her, or she will marry you next week.
Hopefully both each other.
And all of you are invited to his marriage.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks. Maybe one small information about that. The first idea to marriage was the 5th of May. So, she's at home. I told her it would be really nice in Bilbao on the beach, yeah, but okay. But I'm really happy to be here, and thanks for all, and we see each other outside, and then I will hand over to Bernd and Martina and say thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you, Lucas. I hope you are all as excited about the new features as I am, particularly for the rename of data point feature. Yeah, so thank you. And now, Martina, what is coming next?
Yeah, I would like to invite you to lunch now. It will be served outside. And before we head to lunch, I would kindly ask you to go to the usability test. Some of you are already the first at 1 p.m. So before you go to lunch, please go to the usability test. It's just here on the left side. It's signed with a usability test. It's a special room. And yes, The other ones are, you can find your timetable in the mobile event service. When you go to the participants, you search for your name and you see your personal time for the usability test on the mobile event service.
Of course, that's just for the persons who registered to help us actually improving the usability. I think all the others can enjoy the lunch.
For sure. Please be back at 2:30 p.m. and then we'll start with the customer presentations in the afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you.